Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm one of the directors at Copello. I'm here today at Aquila Air Traffic Management Services with Sophie Thomas, who's a Service Delivery Director.
I look after the teams that look after the equipment that's out in the field being used by our customer in the MOD. I also look after the training department, so we support our own internal training, but also the customers' training simulators to allow them to train for air traffic control capabilities. And we also have the service desk who receive the calls from our customer when we have faults on the system and help resolve them.
You've got a really fascinating career and it looks like you've travelled a lot around the world. What would you say are your highlights?
In terms of travel, I guess maybe two very different examples. So the first was as a very young troop commander straight out of training in the army. I deployed to Iraq at the start of the peacekeeping operations there. So as a 22-year-old, that was a pretty different experience and definitely shaped me as a person.
How do you think that that's helped you in developing your career?
I think the leadership opportunities that I had in the army have really helped to shape my ability to lead in industry. I think the variety of what you do in the army, no one day is ever the same, you're always encountering something different, has helped shape my resilience and ability to kind of, I guess, deal with things when things go wrong.
So tell me what you do about Women in Defence.
So I'm the industry co-chair for the Women in Defence Charter, which I'm really proud to play a part in. I was lucky enough to get the chance to be involved when we were looking to launch the charter back in 2019. And if I look at my personal experiences, I've had an amazing career so far, both in the army and then in the defence industry. And I just feel sad that other women aren't enjoying those same opportunities in as many numbers that I would like. I think that having a more diverse organisation, not just with gender, but diversity in every way, can only bring benefit. So I think it's incumbent on us all to do our bit to try and drive that change. But we've got a long way to go, and that's why I'm part of the charter and trying to play my part.
Why is it you think that women don't really have as much motivation to work in the defence industry, or, as you said, as many numbers as you would like?
I think perhaps on the outside looking in, you see a very male-dominated environment, and some people might not wish to join that or feel that they can be truly authentic and enjoy working in that kind of environment.
And what about at a school age? What could we do differently to try and encourage that?
I think it's, again, there's no silver bullet, there's lots of little things. I think role models are hugely important. So where we do have women having successful careers in these kind of industries, then it's hugely important that they are visible and that they're accessible and people can see that it's possible. If you can't see something, it's really hard to dream to be something. So that's key. You know, I was very fortunate. I was brought up both at home and at school to believe that I could do anything if I put my mind to it, and that's what we need to encourage.
Were there any role models when you were younger that kind of influenced your decision to go into defence?
Yes, I think so. I had a female head teacher at my school, and I was considering careers at 15 or so, and she encouraged me to look at the armed forces. She'd actually sat on a selection board to recruit officers into the army, and so she came back and talked about it. And just that presentation to me of showing that something was possible and having that encouragement made me apply, and I was successful. And it's about helping people believe that it's possible.
We talk about women in engineering, but I think it's quite important that we note that you're not a qualified engineer.
Certainly not.
And you've still got to the position that you're in. There is a real sort of misconception that you need to have engineering qualifications in order to be able to progress to a senior position like yourself, but that's obviously not the case, and you've proved that. But what do you think about that?
I think it comes back to some of the things we were touching on earlier, which is about diversity. If everybody in an organisation is an engineer, every approach will be an engineering approach. And what I like to think I bring is just a different way of looking at things. I problem solve in a different way. I will bring a different perspective, and I think that's hugely important.
Have you had any challenges though along the way where potentially like engineers have kind of picked up on that, and that you've really had to kind of prove yourself that little bit more in your role?
I've encountered a lot of people who have found it incredible that I'm doing a role like this and previous roles without being a specific kind of engineer.
Yeah.
But I think the best way to deal with that is to deliver results, which is, what I've done, hopefully what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And also to be honest with people, I'm very clear that I'm not an engineer, to listen, to hear what they've got to say, and then to add value in perhaps a different way.
So the theme for this year's Women in Engineering Day is innovation. What opportunities are there to innovate at Aquila?
So lots is the honest answer. I think let me, as I've mentioned previously, bring a different perspective. It's easy to think of innovation in terms of technical innovation and innovating in terms of technical solutions, and of course that's a big part of what we do here, and that's what a lot of our engineers really love. I look at innovation in a different sense in my space, which is innovation in terms of how can we work differently? How can we deliver our services better, more efficiently? So it's about innovation in terms of ways of working, innovation in terms of the environment that we're creating between ourselves internally with our customer to make it more efficient, but also more enjoyable and more fulfilling, because we spend hours a week in work, and if it's no fun, then we've got something badly wrong.
So in your opinion, what do you think employees should be doing to really encourage females to progress within the industry?
So for me, it's all about creating an environment where everyone can succeed, where there's a quality of opportunity and people can forge their own career paths and progression. That starts with commitment at the leadership level. So it starts right at the very top. It has to be embodied in the culture of an organisation. And it starts by saying, this is important to us, this is part of who we are as a company, these are the values, and diversity and inclusion is a big part of that. There's no one silver bullet. You don't fix it by having a female development programme or a mentoring programme. Those things of course have a role and make a difference, but it's about shaping the environment. It's about being committed to changing and improving things. And it's about recognising that it doesn't matter what gender anyone is, everybody is different and everybody will need a uniquely tailored way of being supported.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you.